freshest flavor, top quality, specialty grade beans. Good. Every dime goes back to BAR, my nonprofit. And we are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. So when you're drinking coffee and enjoying it, just know you're helping somebody. Amazing coffee. Punchy has his own coffee now. What the? And it's so good. All the way from the plantation to my own coffee. Who would have thought? Did that coffee come from the plantation? Did I pick my own coffee? Check it out. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com/stores, and get Punchy's coffee. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchorbaby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchorbaby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on this fine Monday. A truly fine Monday to be back with all of you because we got a bit of a show for you, and we're here in the studio. A pleasure, an absolute pleasure. Happy Monday. Where was I here? I'm the American Anchor Baby. And like I said, I got a bit of a show. We got a bit of a show to get into. Stuff going on in the world. Big things going on. Oh, Nick, I don't want to hear about Iran. How are you not kind of into it though? Like, especially if you don't know some of the stuff and the players. You don't like knowing like the history, the players at hand, oil, missiles, energy. Like, you call it nerdy. It's all very interesting. It's all very interesting. But we'll get into a number of things. Okay. Appreciate you tuning in today on this Monday. We're gonna get to your super chats, topics, and of course your calls. First, let's welcome the people. Let's welcome the people. Let's do it step by step. Our lovely viewers here on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Thank you very much. Stretching your legs, but I appreciate it. My viewers on punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. And of course, the people here on YouTube. Thank you very much. I see you there. Okay, you were with me on Friday, as you're with me most days. And you're here today. So thank you. I see you. How you doing? Cuz, Lord Spike Protein, Frank, Cloud, Tactical Brucey, No Diggity. Okay, you guys know you're here. Our sentry in the Arctic Circle, Jim, and everybody else. Appreciate you being here. Show a little decorum, okay? Like, you could do what you want. You guys get mad. You're like, oh, stop telling me what to do. Stop telling me what to do. It's like, thanks for revealing you have no decorum. If you had decorum, you wouldn't even ask such a question. You would just show decorum. Click the like button, say hello. Okay, I wasn't raised in a barn. I wasn't raised in a home of no consequences, and I'm gonna be a citizen, a citizen of America. Okay, so click the like button. Don't be rude. What else? And you can call in 888-775-3773. You got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, something you want to get off your chest. We could talk about it. That's 888-775-3773. What else? Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. Look, and thanks for everybody who liked, subscribed. They're with me on Friday with doing the show, doing the calls, and even some hot dog shenanigans after hours. Wait, hold on. I'm talking about a VR 3D hot dog, with little arms and a face. That's what I'm talking about. Dirty you people. You guys got problems. You guys want blood, gore. You guys just want the worst things, but I'm going to control you guys just for at least the next few hours. But yeah, thanks for joining. We had fun doing the VR shenanigans. Okay. I want to jump into my show here. Okay. Now let's see. Did we get to everybody? And look, and your super chats, we'll get to everybody. We'll do that. Why was there a baby in that? Look, I can't control that. People were calling it Epstein's train. Epstein's train. I don't know why they were calling it that. Okay, so anyways. I want to jump into some of my stuff here. Okay. I want to jump into some of my stuff. You know what I couldn't get over was some of that gas price talk on the JLP show. Gas prices, they are a shocker. So shocking. They're crazy here in California. It's because of the war. Thank you, Trump. Now I'm going to be poor forever. Thanks, Trump. Now I'm going to be poor forever and I can't eat or go on vacations. Some were saying. Some were saying they just, we can't go on a family vacation. But, okay. Maybe wrong motivations and priorities notwithstanding. The topic is about just your average person in their life here in America. And the prices go up. I mean, people can understand that. But I can't get over how some of these people react to it. I can't get over what they're tripping over and what's the end of their world. What's the end of their way of life. Apparently $15 more per gas tank fill. $15 more per filling up your gas tank. Like, something else is wrong, I think. So I wanted to just go through some of this, okay? Allow me to go through some of this. Because we were watching it on the JLP show, and they were talking about the shocking gas prices.
With Iran
the Iran war. Okay, we'll get to it. There's a number of things to get into. We got to do this. We have to do this. Look.
Sent gas
because I'm interested. Let me turn this up. The gas prices. The shocking gas prices.
Soaring
right?
nationwide. But
is it crazy if you guys hear this in like, I know that 2 times is far too fast. I understand that. But is even 1.5 times speed a garbled mess for you guys, or have I broken my brain? Have I destroyed myself? So side note, I also want to know if you're unable to make sense of this. Because we're trying to speed you guys up, no? I forgot about that.
Has sent gas prices soaring nationwide.
But it's been even worse right here in Southern California. It always is. CBS LA's Lisa Martinez is live at a gas station downtown where the price has topped $8.
That's pretty fast. So it's all ladies reporting.
This morning. Elise, that's rough.
Don't worry. The first part of this video is not that important. It's just those ladies reporting.
Good morning to you both. Yes, it's pretty much
and the $8, the shocking $8.
Jump scare anytime you drive by a gas station since the war broke out in Iran about 2 weeks ago. We're here at the Chevron, $8.71. Take a look at that. Although this gas station does price...
That is actually pretty high. I'm not seeing it like that at all, though, I got to say. Like, anywhere around here or even near me, up at Hollywood, where it's usually more expensive. I don't know what gas station they found, But some gas stations are like that. It's a combination of supply and location, and they just price it like this. And I believe what it is simply is that just because they can. Essentially, the traffic. I could be wrong. Let me move on from that. But I believe it's something like the traffic, and they're just in a position where people will just buy the gas at that price. So it's like just because they can. Normally, you set the price that high, people will go somewhere else. But I think it might be another reason too. But side notes. Especially for those not in California, though. I know you already heard Jesse say it. But especially if you're not here, like, no, you're not driving around seeing $8.70. No, I'm paying about a little bit over $5. And yes, it has this yesterday morning, I was, oh yeah, it's $5 now. It is higher.
Higher, at least $2 to $3 higher than other stations in the area. I guess they can get away with that. But let's take a look at what's going on nationwide. According to AAA, the average is $3.67.
Blah, 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 right? Gas prices are up. Now, they mention why, though. Why gas prices are higher. It's a combination of regulation, supply.
So we have our own issues there. Other items as well higher today. We always ask, why does California get hit harder than the rest? Well, we have stricter rules for cleaner burning gas blends and higher taxes as well. Plus, our supply is low. We have our own issues there.
That I've heard this before, and it's just it's not a lie. Like, it is true. You essentially have these three things going on. You could probably file these under the same thing, gas taxes and regulations. I mean, you have these higher gas taxes. Besides, like, the federal gas tax for everybody, you have the state tax that adds, like, a bunch. And under all that, it's supposed to be, money for roads, money for various things, okay? Taxes. You understand taxes. This gas blend thing that you heard the female reporter here talking about. This gas blend, we have strict rules for this gas blend. There's a conventional blend. The government is fine. The government has like a standard. Okay, a gas blend that they call RFG, reformulated gasoline. But California has like a boutique RFG. They call it CARFG, California RFG, California reformulated gasoline. And this special blend contains a number of certain trace chemicals and certain things. It just has less of it, like benzene and various things. So it burns cleaner. It literally burns cleaner. Now, it's arguable by how much and how clean it is, but it is cleaner. Like, there's less benzene and less stuff released when you burn CARFG. But it's more expensive to make. The funny thing about it is this California RFG, it's like debatable how much cleaner it is. And it's only like a boutique fuel that gets pumped through California gas stations for the consumer. Sure, yeah, commercial vehicles that fill up at consumer gas pumps will also use it, obviously. But that's what this CARFG is for. It's this more expensive, special, slightly cleaner fuel for the Californian that fills their tank up. Not for marine, not for the military, not for aviation, not for, I believe, not even trucking unless they fill up at a California gas station. Consider that for a moment. The Californian or whatever thought to themselves, well, we got to save the world. We got to save the planet. We got to save the world. I'm not comfortable driving my vehicle. It's so dirty. So we're going to pay higher at the pump. This is what you got to do to save the world. But they're not. The rest of the world is still dirty. The vast majority of this pollution coming from like these big population centers. We're talking about China, India. We're talking about these places that don't care about these regulations. So whatever good you thought you were doing is getting offset. And just think about the mindset. Think about the mindset of the individual who thought to themselves, wow, this is what I have to do, pay more at the pump, etc. The mindset of the individual who thinks that, one, that's going to have a positive effect, and two, that it's the right thing to do. Now, this video, they talk a little bit about, they throw in too, why the supply thing. The supply thing has to do with, it has to do with lack of supply. That's what that is. Like, it's not, but where? Why do we have a low supply? Why can't we just get a bunch of cheap gas? I mean, the CFC, California, what is this called? The California Chamber of Commerce.org, whatever, says themselves. Why? Because they have to import. They have to import a lot of the oil because of a lack of domestic infrastructure. They say this themselves. What does that mean? To put it in plain English, they're not drilling. They're not drilling here in California. They're not getting the oil out. So when you hear Newsom say stuff like this.
California right now, $5.48. Yesterday, $5.41. Last month, offset this. President Trump signed 7 cents, up 91 cents. Well, now, in a controversial move to offset this, President Trump signed an executive order to demand the resumption of offshore oil drilling along the California coast at the site of a devastating oil spill back in 2015. He's invoking the emergency powers under the...
A spill? An oil spill stopped this? That's not a reason not to produce energy. And these are the same people who are like, this is a terrible crisis, this war. This is it's wrong that I wonder, would you call it like terrorist kind of like activities that Iran or that area can hold the world hostage and bring the gas prices up, right? What is this luxury that Californians think they have that they don't need to take advantage of their own resources? Why? Because oil mucky and dirty? Me likey beach? That's not a reason not to produce energy. It's just a reason, hey, we got to go back to the drawing board and do it safely, do it cleanly. Because you got to care about the environment. You got to care about it. But what do you think? Energy companies want to like just spill oil everywhere. That's what we want to do. Maybe they care less about what burning the oil does and using it, whatever. But what do you think? They just want to like, all right, boys, open up the hoses. Yeah, spray the world with oil. No, that's money they're losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know where the luxury, where do they get off with this luxury? You think you could just not produce oil, just not use your resources? That sounds like some sort of like luxury, you know? Like, no, it's just mean. Make those people over there produce the oil. We'll just buy it. It's just global. What about when they don't like you and it's like you have conflict? What happened? What happened to being independent? No, that's yucky. But so when Gavin Newsom says something like this,
Defense Production Act, allowing the Department of Energy to restore operations at a Santa Ynez pipeline along the Santa Barbara coast. You may remember back in 2015, there was a massive oil spill, dumping more than 140,000 gallons of oil into one of the West Coast's most biologically diverse areas. I was working in Santa Barbara at the time. I covered that. It was an absolute disaster. Environmental advocates expressing alarm this morning. And here's what Governor Gavin Newsom had to say. Quote, Donald Trump started a war, admitted it would spike gas prices nationwide, and told Americans it was a small price to pay. Now he's using this crisis of his own making to attempt what he's wanted to do for years, open California's coast for his oil industry friends so they can poison our beaches. That wouldn't lower prices by a cent. And that.
So when he says something like that, like they wouldn't lower oil, it wouldn't lower prices by a cent. I mean, where do you get something like that? I want the environment to be clean. It shouldn't be like a Republican, Democrat, left, right. Like it's just so shallow. And it's like, well, the green activists, woke people. That's woke. So no, you can't be environmentally friendly. Like, no, you could care about the planet. You could care about your neighborhood, the environment, the ocean. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so you could care about all those things. Trump can maybe even have oil industry friends. What's wrong with that, by the way? What's wrong with having friends? But where does he getting this from? It sounds like on top of that he throws this lie like it wouldn't lower prices by a cent. California themselves, they say they don't have refineries, infrastructure, and they have to import most of the oil. That's why it's so expensive. That's out of the multiple factors adding to the price of gas here in California. You're following that supply is one of them. Gavin just lying, making it seem like, oh, just be environmentally friendly. His oil industry friends. Who are you really going to trust? Now a question then comes up. It's like, why would Gavin say something like that? What's the point of even being, if a war can stretch the world thin with oil prices and the gas prices and if you know anything, you know that a spill doesn't mean you're just always gonna be spilling oil. You could do that environment. There's a way to do that there's a way to do that right. Why would he say something like that? I mean, now this is just my opinion, but it's a matter of politics. It's a matter of politics. The people like Gavin Newsom, who've been in this for a long time, they've learned how to do one thing, and that is win an election in where they are. How to win an election. And you see how this craven relationship between the ambitious politicians, officials, and the sick, retarded public wanting to make themselves feel better. I got my luxuries. We're not drilling. That makes you happy. $7 gas, that's the price to pay. Unless that's the price I'm going to pay for, I don't know, anything, literally anything. Unless it's Trump, unless the TV tells me Trump did it, then I hate it. Then it's no, that's far too high a price to pay for anything.
That is.
It's because he knows how to win elections, because he knows how the people think. So that's just my opinion of why he would say such a thing. But you see how many like levels of reality you have to deny to even say such a thing. Like, no, Trump wanting to do that would not lower prices by a cent. You understand this? So those are a couple of things on my mind over the gas prices thing. I do want to segue right into Iran here, and just for a moment, I do have a whole thing on it, and I want to get to your calls. I want to finish this up real fast here. I want to get right to you. Okay, I see you on hold, and I want to get right to you. I'm done with the gas thing. Was going to segue into Iran. We'll do a call first, then we'll do Iran. But you see this Mama 3. You saw this Mama 3 on the JLP show. And she's like tripping over the gas prices.
With a key source of the world's oil supply choked
like,
off
I can't
by
go
Iran,
on my
oil
vacation.
Paycheck. CBS News correspondent Elaine Quijano has one family's story.
When Kelly Sudavangsi hits the road, she knows just how much.
Is she a Hispanic? By the way, is she Latina or not? Like that was my question. I'm like, is this an Asian lady? Is this a Latina? What am I looking at?
It costs to fill up her Toyota Corolla.
It's around $25 to $30.
How much does it cost now to fill your tank?
I would say around $50.
How does that?
$20? $20 more per tank fill up? Like, let's just call it at 4 tanks a month, like 1 a week. Let's just call it that. Like, that's a little on. But they got kids. They got to drive around a bunch. Let's call it 5. You're telling me $80 more a month is destroying you? $80 more dollars a month is like the end of your I don't know of your life or something, of like living a comfortable life. $80? Maybe I don't get something. It's like, Nick, you don't get it. You don't have. So that's why you could call me 888-775-3773. But you're telling me $15, $20 more per tank fill-up is the end of your life.
That affect your budget?
The only problem is when it raises the cost of shipping, it raises the cost of everything. No. I understand that. I'm just talking about this lady and her reaction to the gas prices. No, oil. I'm not saying oil. The price of oil going up is not a big deal. Not saying that. I'm not saying that. Definitely not saying that. And more on that in a second. I just thought this was so ridiculous.
It affects it a lot.
The mother of 3 earns about...
Am I tripping? $15? Anyways, I forget what I was going to say about this lady. But look, I want to just tell you this real quick because I want to get to my calls. And then we'll do what I was going to segue into Iran. Here's just a little thing. And there's more to do with mindset. It's just more to do with mindset, in my opinion. It's just I had a little thing. I had a little moment with finance. And I'm not a big investor, but I'm about to show you my true position that I took with XLE, okay? Let me pull this up. XLE is an energy sector ETF. Basically, it's a bunch of energy companies, American energy companies, thrown together in a basket, and you can invest in it. You can invest in it's called an ETF, okay? Okay. Which is ETFs are like collections of stocks, okay? It's like a exchange traded fund. It's like a collection of stocks, of indexes as they're called, so that you can have like an average of a sector or an average of a commodity or something. And so you can invest in that as opposed to investing in like ExxonMobil, like one energy company. It's like, what if they do something weird? Like, it's just different reasons for investing, right? I'm not a big time investor. My channel's not about investing, and I got all this content. It's not like I have all these books I read and I finally did an investment move and I'm here telling you what I did. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm just a guy, and I heard some of my investor friends, you know, for example, I heard one of them say once, you know, I try and pay attention where the money's moving. There's no, because we were talking about fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, which is a term in that investment world, but it's just an interesting one. You know, markets go down, people get FUD, they start selling. He says he never thinks like that. He never thinks like, oh, markets go down, war's happening, I'm losing money. He sees money and making opportunities at all times. Now, he didn't tell me to do this. It's just that kind of mindset was percolating in my head, and I was thinking about that mindset with like just your average person tripping at the gas prices. I kind of went into this Friday, but I want to show you my position in XLE to show you what I did. So you know I'm not lying. I'm thinking everybody's tripping about the gas prices. I'm thinking, you know what? I bet you wealthy people never think like that. They just see another, because I'm looking at the news that says oil, the price of oil is going up. I'm like, ba ba ba, bing bing bing, right? It's this simple. I'm like, bing bing. That's like a lot. That's bells going off in my head. I see oil price going up. Huh? You know, everyone's tripping. Gas price go up. Oh my gosh, I'm tripping. I see oil price go up. Ding. This is like March. This is like March 3rd, March 2nd, March 3rd, February 28th. Trump strikes Iran. Blue boom. Right. I was like, whoa, war with Iran. March 4th. We get to March 4th. I decide, you know what? Frig it. I'm gonna throw 3,000 into XLE, State Street Energy Select Sector. We're almost up 5% since then. We're almost up 5%. So I almost made almost $150. Okay. Now for the next, again, this is not, whoa, 150. That's, I'm proving to you that I'm not like this huge, like I got this huge investor thing. I'm talking about mindset. But consider for a moment what I just did. For the next like 3, 4, 5 tank fill-ups, I'm set. I don't care if the gas price goes up. I don't care if it goes up. In fact, I'll make more money if the gas price goes up. And I don't care if for the next 4 or 5 tank fill-ups if it goes up, because I have money. I have like a little buffer now. That's how I'm thinking about it. Am I tripping? Oh, was I supposed to read like the big books or have some investment acumen under my belt? No, I understood the information. I understand the rationale. I don't even know these charts and all that. I don't care about that. And then I was willing to take the risk. And some of you already, I can hear you now. You're like, Nick, I don't have $3,000. What do you mean $3,000? If you don't have $3,000, man, like get a job. How about get a job? Then come back to this episode. And you're like, $3,000, that's so risky. Consider for a moment, you're not just throwing $3,000 into the wind and it's just gone. It's like an investment. So if it goes down a bit, you're just like, that means I was willing to lose like a couple $100. Like those are talk about risk, right? It's like you got to have some. So anyway, I'm just expressing the thinking here. Am I telling you the how to become financially free? No, you can understand it. Imagine this mindset with other things in life. You know, a wealthy person never sees the gas price and think, "Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I'm never gonna make money. I'm never gonna be wealthy." They saw another money making opportunity. And that was this little tiny, but I literally just saw. I was like, the news said oil price go up. That's how I thought. That's how I thought about it. And then I could have invested in like ExxonMobil or something, like a more exposed trade where it's just like the actual companies producing the oil, which they're more exposed to the oil price going up or down. There's a number of things I could have done. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that. Mindsets. Am I tripping here? Like I want to stay on that mindset in life. But anyways, I do want to say something about Iran and the relation with the gas prices I was bringing up. It's actually related because Trump did say, but let me do these calls first. Trump did say, and I have a comment on it. He said, these prices are a small price to pay, essentially. I want to get the quote right. What did he say again? What the heck did he say again? He said, short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over, is a very small price to pay for the USA and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. I want to comment on that because he says it's a very small price to pay. I want to kind of describe price to pay for what? I want to attempt to answer that, but we'll get to that later. 888-775-3773. Let's get to some of these calls. Let me get to, appreciate the patience. Let's get to Frederick, Los Angeles, California. You're on the air.
What's up, Nick?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Can you hear me? I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Nice to hear from you, man. All is well.
Yep. Before I get into my subject, I was watching JLP this morning, and he was talking about listening to the cops crying about when police pull you over.
Okay.
Are you aware of the class action lawsuit in Beverly Hills?
No. What's going on there? Can we back up just one sec, though?
Yeah.
What was Jesse talking about? Remind me.
About getting pulled over and crying when the police pull you over.
Oh, I think, was it when he played some video of a woman who was refusing to get out of her car? Yeah. She was speeding, and then the police they've just ripped her out of that vehicle?
Right.
Okay, I'm following. So what happened in Beverly Hills?
They done pulled over 1,088 black men, and only 2 of them was convicted. So they got a class action lawsuit going on about the same thing that's happening in LA, and they suing, and they about to get paid. Yeah, out of 1,088 people, only 2 convictions.
Okay,
and
so
and
go ahead.
And out of all the people they locked up, 90% of them was black, and they only make up 1.5% of the population in Beverly Hills.
Wow. Is it this one?
So
Is it this story from, it seems like it's from 2023, September, A lawsuit accuses Beverly Hills, California police of racially profiling. Nearly 1,100 black people during traffic stop. The suit announced Monday was filed on behalf of most black drivers who were pulled over in the wealthy city. Out of a total of 1,088 black motorists stopped, only 2 were convicted of crimes, Attorney Ben Crump said. So is this the one you're talking about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Between 2019 and 2021, I believe that's when.
This story is from 2023. Any update on this?
They still in court. I believe that it's in court right now, and they're about to come up with a decision or something. I'm not quite sure if it's finalized or not. It takes a while for that stuff to get complete.
Okay.
But yeah.
And so why is this wrong?
Why is it wrong?
Yeah, like why is this wrong to you?
Because it seems like for 2 convictions, Beverly Hills has to pay $500 million for like only 2 convictions. And it's like the taxpayers is like, what's up with that?
Wait, why are they paying $500 million?
Because out of the job the police was doing, they only made 2 convictions. And that's not right. They want to show more work, more money being made for the police work. They're not making any money. They just creating a bigger deficit for the taxpayers to pay.
Oh, I see. That's what I was trying to understand. The $500 million is because of having to pay these officers like as employees, but they're out here doing fluff work that's not unnecessary work.
They got to pay the drivers that was arrested.
Gotcha. The $500 million is the penalty of this lawsuit.
Yes. All of them weren't locked up, but a lot of them.
But if for you, if this is over the lawsuit and the penalty of the money, then you could just as easily blame whoever is putting this lawsuit. Because for me, it would be less about that. Let me ask you this: because I don't know the exact details of this, what you're bringing up. I don't know the exact details. If conviction, I don't know if conviction means like, you know how some of these definitions matter. Like, it doesn't mean that they weren't charged or something like that. So I don't know the exact details, but I do. But let me ask you a question about what aspect I do understand. Maybe would you?
Okay.
Do you think that officers would be? Do you think that racial profiling is just wrong as a basis, ignoring any other factors? Just racial profiling as a basic concept, is that just wrong to you? It should never happen.
Yeah.
And why?
Yes, it's wrong. You should only, because the race is not a crime. If it's just racial profiling and pulling people over because they black, you feel me? That's racial profiling. If the white people have the same bad tags or have the same tail light out, but you're not pulling them over, but you are pulling the blacks over, and the evidence proves it, then something needs to be done about it. There's a lot of money being left on the table with fines of white people that you're not even charging.
So you're saying that racially profiling would just be wrong essentially because you're going to get the wrong guy?
You're going to get less money. You're going after a minority of the population, and the majority of the population is paying the tax.
Oh, but so wait, so I'm just trying to understand you. So you're saying I asked you racially profiling, just as a basic concept, it should never happen. You're saying it should never happen because you're going to get the wrong guy. You're going to be biased. You're going to pick one race over the other, etc. But let's say
no, I'm saying you're going to pick a minority when the majority of citizens paying for taxes, and you're only doing minority of your job. You're only going after the minority, and there's the majority paying taxes, and there's no work being done towards the majority of the crime, only the minority of the crime. We want our police departments to solve as much crime as they can.
And how do they do that? Why do they profile at all? Let's remove race. Let's remove race out of it. Why do officers profile at all? What is that to you? What is profiling to you?
What is it?
And why do they do it at all? Because you said officers that I want them to get the crimes. Well, how do they do that? What are the methods they do that?
How do they do it now, or how should they do it? What are you saying?
What I'm asking is because you're bringing up you don't want them to racially profile. You want them to get the criminals. Well, I'm asking, I'm trying to make it clear to you that one of these methods is profiling. Let's remove race for a moment. I'm asking you, why do you think officers profile at all?
So they can tag and release, stop blacks from voting and carrying guns.
No, but let's remove race. Why do officers have a profile of a criminal, for example? That criminals usually act like this, live here, etc. Wear this. Let's remove race for a second. Why would an officer have such a profile, and why do they use that as a tool? Is it because it's ineffective, or is it effective?
Without race, there is no profile. If you saying remove race and asking why do they profile, that's a.
Are you saying that? Are you saying race is the only identifiable characteristic of a person?
Yeah, when they racial profiling, if you're going to take racial profiling,
you really believe that race is the only identifiable characteristic? Let me say, what if someone has like a long hair? Do you think that might identify them? What if they have certain clothes? What if they belong to a certain subculture? Do you think any of that? Are you saying that those things don't exist if you remove race? I'm not understanding what you're saying now.
Yeah, if you remove race and you just like have cars with all tinted windows and they just pulling over, the violation that's wrong with the car.
Well, now you just lost me, Frederick. What are you saying? Are you really saying that the only identifiable characteristic is race? So if you don't racially profile, then there's no other way to profile someone? Like, you've totally lost me here. You don't have eyes?
No. Why would you have a profile of anyone already in your imagination if race don't exist? What is a profile?
I don't know. Maybe you're having trouble understanding the word or like what it is or just like imagining a person in your head. But there are other things that you could use to describe someone other than race. Am I tripping with that? Like what?
No.
Thank you. That's all I was trying to get straight. So you agree that you could describe people using other methods than just race, right?
Not specifically. You can't.
And why not?
If you just say a man's this tall and this much weight and wearing this clothes, can you go find them? If I tell you a man's this tall, this weight, and has on these clothes, you can go find them.
How about like this? If I tell you...
No, I'm asking you a question.
Repeat your question for me.
If I give you a description of a man with everything but his race, you can find him.
It will help. The question was... Yeah, absolutely.
No, I didn't ask for this help.
Of course it will. Let's say, look, I understand your question now. You're talking about specific, if you're trying to find a specific individual, but that's not the only reason profiling is used. And that's what I'm asking you about. This concept of profiling, for example, is not just used to find a specific individual where I guess I understand what you're saying there. But look, for example, you profile for a specific type of like individual that commits crimes in a certain area. They do that because it's effective. You understand that? Frederick, you understand that?
But they're not catching criminals.
If you're trying to go find a crackhead, are you going to? And this crackhead who just did something, like you understand some of these basics, right?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But
that's why they do profiling. So I don't know exactly what's going on with the Beverly Hills thing, man. I'll look into it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you got to say.
But profiling is not just bad always. I'll say that. I just can't agree with you on that. Profiling is totally a useful thing to do, including racial profiling.
Well, are they catching the criminals? What's their justification of profiling if they're never locking up any black
behavior? That's the justification for racial profiling. There's no proof of
black behavior.
Yes, they shoot. Bro, they're shooting each other, bro. They're shooting and killing each other. What are you talking about?
Not in Beverly Hills.
No, but
not in Beverly Hills.
Exactly. So what's a black person doing in Beverly Hills? Exactly.
No.
So what's a black person doing? No, I'm joking. I'm sort of joking with that one, but that still has to do with profiling, though. That still has to do with discrimination and profiling. So I'm not going to call that wrong just at the outset. You got to give me more info.
Yeah. First, you have to prove they're committing crimes, and they're not proving that. They're just profiling a bunch of people that's not committing crime.
I appreciate it, because if they're profiling, that means they're trying to be effective. And considering how ineffective and all the things that get through policing because of why? Because you're supposed to feel bad for the races, you're supposed to feel bad for women and minorities, etc. Think about how much gets through the cracks because of that. I appreciate that there's still some profiling, because that means they're trying something. If they weren't profiling at all, they're not going to get anything.
No, if they profiling, that means they're missing a lot more. They letting a lot of whites that's doing the crime go because they're looking for the wrong profile.
And I'm not saying that that's correct. I'm not. That's not a good thing necessarily. But you know what's funny about that profiling is that it's probably more. It's probably on average. It's probably on average better for society to profile and let a white go than profile and let a black go. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just going by statistics.
All right,
Shouldn't that be a mirror to black society, or are you just going to get mad at somebody else?
No, I'm not getting mad. If y'all rather pay lawsuits than stop crime, then a $20 $40 a week ain't gonna hurt y'all, and y'all be glad to pay it. But if that's the case, say that. You know what I'm saying? Don't cry about it. But on the Iran,
all right,
I told you last about a few weeks ago, asking you what you thought about the talks. Remember?
About the what? Oh, about the talks, you said?
Yeah, they was having talks the last time I was calling.
I think so. I kind of remember that.
Yeah, that was before the war started. Now when the war started, Trump's asking for help. You hear that?
You mean like asking for ships?
Yeah.
To come help. Yeah, he's asking. I heard. I forget. So he's asking China too. I'm not totally familiar. I just saw the headline that he's asking for help policing the Strait of Hormuz. Is that what you're talking about? Helping policing the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah. He done started something he needs up finishing now. So, and they're not responding to him.
Well, the whole world needs it. Consider for a moment the whole world. I want you to finish, so my apologies. You said Iran what?
No, go ahead.
Well, it's the whole world. It's kind of the whole world's problem. And look, all I'm saying on terms of material conditions, you know, China, including China, if that's true what you're saying, I only read the headline that Trump is asking China and others to help police the Strait of Hormuz. Guess what? China is like the whole world needs it, right? 20% of the oil goes through there. You close that up, you start putting a crunch on the world, right? That includes China. That includes all the people that Trump is asking help from. So I understand that, if that's true what you're saying. I'm not totally familiar with the story.
Yeah.
China needs that oil too. And by the way, they buy it the most from Iran. So hello, China, you better help us open this up. Where are y'all at? I like that he asked if that's true. Go ahead, sir.
China's ships are the only one they allowing to go through. If they mark China ships, they passing through already. They're going through untouched.
You never know if you don't ask. You never know if you don't ask. That's like a manly thing, you know. It's like, no, you can't ask that. You can't say that. You can't. That'd be rude if you ask that. Wait, you never know if you don't ask. Hey, China, you gonna help with the Strait of Hormuz or not?
No.
You said what? You said what? Wait, you're breaking up, Frederick. Can you repeat what you said?
I said bleed them dry.
Bleed who dry?
The central bank, the petrodollar, all of it.
What? Wait, where's this coming from, Frederick? So you're saying what you just said is like crazy. So you like,
no.
Why don't you just go live in like Iran or something, or in a Muslim country, or in South Korea? Because like even the biggest U.S. and Israel critics agree that if you could, and there's a big if, it's a big if. They agree that if you could deal with Iran, it's a win for the world. What you said, that aligns you with those haters, those Muslim haters who are like, we like Iran because we hate America. It's a check, and we need America to go down. drain the bankers,
Nick
the
Fuentes.
petrodollar. What is it? What do you want chaos?
Nick Fuentes is on my side.
No, he's not.
Israel wants. Yeah, Israel
He doesn't
wants
want the
United
petrodollar
States.
to collapse. That's like an Islamist thing. Where are you getting that from? You're like a total Islamist.
No.
That's not what Nick. I don't know what he would say about that, but I highly doubt it. Maybe you can have him come on my show.
Wants the United States. Israel wants the United States to lose this war. They want.
That doesn't mean he wants the petrodollar to be collapsed, and he doesn't. That doesn't mean he wants the end of the West. But okay, psycho.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He hopes Iran.
I'll have to ask him.
You ain't heard what he said? Yeah, he said he hopes Iran win. He's voting for Democrats.
Whatever. Right, as a protest votes against Republicans. Not because he wants the petrodollar to end, and so all of America's wealth can end, so that they may collapse, and so the great Satan may collapse. Like that's not what he's saying.
They already trading the oil and petro wine over there. Every country's using the petro wine.
Last thing you want to say? No, not yet. You said petro yuan? No, I know Iran was asking for that, but Iran said, "Hey, we'll open it up if you guys do the trading in yuan," but that's not been set. Hey, Frederick, last thing you want to say before we move the wheels?
No, good talking to you. Shout out to Josh.
Yeah.
The truck driver. He told me to call in.
Oh, cool.
It's been a while. I'm at work. Yeah, it's hard being able to call in, so I had to call in for my boy on the Terry Strange show.
Shout out, Frederick.
Shout out, Terry Strange.
Hope you're doing well, sir. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one. All right, later.
888-775-3773. I did hear from Frederick kind of not too long ago, right? So kind of a back-to-back blast from the past. Haven't heard from the guy in a bit, but we did kind of hear from him recently, so he already kind of made a splash. But how you doing, Frederick? Anyways, I want to get right back to my calls, but may I just quickly do this? We talk about gas prices and all that, and my position with XLE. Okay, no. What's the word? No mysteries here. I ain't hiding anything there. All right. I'm like big standing on my laurels. Big investor, made almost $150. I'm like, I'm standing on business. No mysteries here. Totally open trading. You'll know my position. You know what I mean? I'm having fun with that. But look, I wanted to say this because I was going to segue into Iran. So let me get this out of the way and then right back to calls. We were talking about gas prices and some of the things I was talking about. And I thought it was right from that, I thought it would be a good segue into Iran because, okay, Iran. Look, like many of you, I wasn't sure of the conflict for a number of reasons. Namely, number one, ignorance. Who is fighting and why? Those are the important questions, that really the only questions that matter. But also Trump's rhetoric, okay? I don't react like some of you, okay? But no new wars and America first. I shared the same question with you. How does this fit in with that? Maybe it does. Maybe it totally does. But I'd like to know, essentially. I've been listening to all sorts of conversations and having conversations with all sorts of people, young, old, Democrat, Republican, Christian, Jew, Muslim. I've come to realize even the most anti-Semitic of people, the most anti or critical of Israel, let me put it like that, they agree that a removal of the current regime in Iran would be a win for the world, okay? It seems like only the Muslims, like the Muslim world and the most radicals of those two, seem to want to either varying degrees of wanting to check the U.S. to the end of the U.S.'s hegemony over the world in a significant way. And I see the Muslim world talk like that, so I don't care about that. That being said, it seems like even the most Israel critical would say that Iran is a problem, and the regime that stands is a problem from 1979, the nukes, but it's like a conundrum. And the conundrum is because the how to deal with them matters a lot. Like, let's say you're Israel, and it's like, okay, well, Israel has this enemy, these Muslims. Well, then just deal with them, bomb them. Okay, fine. We'll bomb Lebanon and deal with some names you've heard of, Houthis or Hezbollah. Sorry, Lebanon, Hezbollah. Well, what happens when you start dealing with them? You start getting hit by somewhere else. And where are those people getting their missiles from? They're all getting it from Iran. They're all getting help from the big guy, right? So it's like, if you're Israel, you can't do it on your own. If you're Qatar, if you're any of these countries who has aligned with the global kind of trade, they're trading in the petrodollar, they're friendly with the U.S., and they're like, hey, let's make money. You'll think, yeah, well, removal of Iran would be kind of cool. But if we start saying, yes, we're with the U.S., do it, our own people will rise up against us because they're Muslim, and the U.S. is not. There's a lot of like checkmate scenarios, you know, that's why it's a conundrum. You start sending in, let's say we go big, and you just like, well, we'll just use the power of America. Well, you can like nuke a whole area, sure, but that's like a humanitarian problem. Like, you can't just nuke an area, and we haven't used nukes since Nagasaki. Like, that's just a big no-no. Well, you could just bomb them. Well, they're fortified, they're underground, they have they've prepared for this, and in fact we're seeing some of that just now in these past few weeks. They're bombing the heck out of Iran, and they're on the streets celebrating like, no, we're tougher than ever. We're going to stand up to the big West, and there ain't nothing stopping us. And so it becomes a conundrum. Well, you got to send in people, actually. Well, that means Americans dying. You know, that's where you get the big quagmire, right? But removing all the factors, if you could snap your fingers and remove Iran as this issue, even the most critical agree. Now, this is where that America First conundrum comes up. Some are more familiar with the situation. They know, for example, that Israel is more willing for this gas price chaos than, for example, the U.S. Because they have simply, it's because of a simple reason. They have a different win scenario. You understand? Like, for example, right now, Lebanon is getting lit up. Oh, let me pull up the map. Let me remember which one's above of Israel. Then I'll know what they're doing. Yeah, Lebanon. Now, Lebanon is home of Hezbollah, I believe. They are one of these Iran's proxies. And, okay, Israel, and they have issues over time. We don't need to go over it all. They're saying, Israel has basically said, hey, everybody who's south of this river, where is it? The Litani River. Okay. Let me pull this up. They said, everybody who's south of this river, you see, let me show you the borders of Lebanon. So that's Lebanon bordering, blah, 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 blah. Right under them is, of course, Israel. We know Israel. Yerushalayim, Nefesh Yehudi, sorry. They're right next to each other, you understand? Israel's saying, hey, everybody south of this river, get out of there. We're about to bomb the heck out of it. The way it's been set, the way our countries are so close to each other, we just can get bombed by Hezbollah, and it's just way too easy for them. So everybody south of this river, yes, this area is Lebanon. We don't care. We're going to bomb the heck out of this. If you don't want to die, get out of there. And then we're going to have this area as a buffer zone, as a safety, as a space between us. So you can't just do whatever they want to us. Strategically, militarily, I think anybody can understand that. And if you were Israel, you'd want the same thing, maybe. That's not necessarily what America needs or wants. Like, they don't need all that. And if that would cause a worsening of the gas prices and the oil crunch, now you see where this conundrum comes up. And why I say Israel's more willing for that. Now, for whatever reason, Trump thought the time was now. The time is now to deal with Iran decisively. It's my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's my opinion this is happening because Trump simply thought he could. You know, you could. There's all the reasons on the table. Israel wants to expand and deal with their region. The U.S. wants this. Iran wants this and that. The point is, if you could do it, it would be a huge win. And Trump thought he could, and he still thinks he can. He believes he still can. It's that simple in my mind. Now it is. Now it's that simple in my mind. I was hearing all the stuff. Did Israel push it? Did this? I didn't even. Right, I had all the same questions. I believe it's my opinion that Trump just thought he could. He's like, you know, once I'll deal with this for the world, just like I did Venezuela, just like I did this and that. And I believe he still believes he can. I don't really know what to think about that, because as it stands, they're bombing them every day. U.S. assets are being hit back by Iran, and it's a mess. The oil crunch is happening, and it's a mess. And as it stands, Trump is like, short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over, is a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. The price to pay, he says it's a small price to pay. I have to assume he's saying, well, I guess he made it somewhat clear in the thing here. He said, the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat. But the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat would require, at least if certain modes of thinking, one way of thinking is like, as long as you can keep bombing their stuff, then you deal with their nuclear threat. But that's essentially what happened. I forget when exactly, but remember Fordo? Trump sent out the stealth bombers into those mountains to destroy their nuclear capabilities. Right away, people were saying, that's just going to kick the can down the road for another conflict with Iran down the road, as it's been happening for years. Now you see why the decisive end to it would be so interesting for Trump, and why, if he could do it, would be such an amazing thing for the world. They just keep kicking the can down the road. Nuclear capabilities. Well, Iran's just going to try down the road. So when he says it's a small price to pay, the price to pay should be, at least for whatever goal they have, which is to be decisive. And unless they're decisive, then it would be a failure. Using their own words, in my opinion, it would be a failure. And so I don't know how it's going to go. There's some very interesting things happening with the striking of Karg Island. You see, there's this island in this whole area. Now, the Strait of Hormuz is over here. You keep going up and up and up, you get to this island that houses all of, and then we're going to do calls right after this. It houses pretty much all of Iran's oil exporting capabilities. Now, they produce oil in a lot of places, but essentially how it goes is this whole area, it has to do with water levels, interestingly enough. You know, these big old tankers, once you get over here, the water level's too shallow. So they got to pump the gas out to this island, and then the water level's deep enough so you can fill up those tankers, export the oil to mainly China, but the world. It's like 90% China, I heard. And then that's how Iran is making money, right? You know, I'm telling you this because this is like the latest developments on this, and, you know, it's an interesting development. Like, you start crippling Iran. Like, it just shows Trump is like he's trying to be creative and trying to win it, you know, as opposed to like, well, forever war. I don't know. We're just there forever. We're just going to try and train up Iran, right? And they'll run it. Never mind. We'll run it forever. I don't know. It just tells me that he's trying to be creative. I just don't know how it's going to all end up. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to end up. I saw some smart people saying that Iran is saying, hey, okay, we'll play ball. We'll open up the strait and let oil trade happen, but on one condition, if you guys trade in Chinese yuan, which is, you know, it's an attempt. I saw someone smart say that, hey, that could be seen as a bit of a white flag. You know, it's like them saying, yeah, if you guys bring those 5,000 Marines and troops that you guys are sending over, which is like happening right now, Yeah, you guys could basically open up the strait if you guys wanted to. We would lose a lot. Some were saying that's a bit of a white flag. Hey, yeah, we'll open it up. Just trading you on. You know, you got to get a little bit give and take in the deal, right? So it's a small price to pay for world safety, peace, and for the USA. I think I've made it clear. Even if you are hugely critical of for wars and Israel and all that, the motivations anyone can see are still there if you could decisively deal with Iran in a way that doesn't put you in a forever war, really destabilizes the world in a big way. And you're not stuck in there for 20 years like Iran, like Iraq, and the other stuff and the other forever wars. Everyone agrees. If you could do that, wow, what a move, right? So I understand. I think this is how I understand the situation as it stands. And I'm watching the president, and amazing things are happening. So, what else did I have to say about this? That's it. I don't know. He'll always be one of America's great men, in my mind, that he's willing to do this. Our greatest president, as some say, even if this is a blunder, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. A madman that went for it because he wanted to save the country. People ask me, why did you vote for him twice? But those dummies hate America. They ask, it's like Obama voters, right? They'll have voted for him multiple times. They'll be like, well, how could you vote for him like multiple times? Don't you know he was bad? Those people who say that, it's because they're like Republicans and disagreed with Obama. But the ones who voted for Obama, even if he failed, it's like, I know what he was about. That's why I voted for him. Unless they criticized Trump because they wanted him to be even greater, then I'll understand. But anyways, that was just what I was thinking about. That's my latest on Iran and all that. I want to get to calls. That's just my opinion. that's just my opinion. I just think that he thinks it still does, that he could just do it and be the decisive one to deal with Iran. And I just believe he really believes he could do it. Now I don't know how it'll end up. LOL, a small price to pay for. You weren't listening. You weren't listening to me. This flew over your head, Turkey Man. It wasn't for you. Don't worry though. Turkey Man, let him trip in the chat. This went way over your head. This wasn't for you, but don't worry about it, Turkey Man. You just chill. You just take it easy. Don't worry about it. Just type away. Have a ball. Okay. I want to get to William out of California. I appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick, what's wrong with you, man? You was babbling.
About what?
Everything.
Tell me what I babbled about.
You on and on and on and on and on, man. I'm telling you, man, you overreacting, dude. Was you alive during the Afghanistan war?
What am I overreacting about?
Look. Every time they have any kind of conflict, your gas goes up a little bit. Our gas in California is the one that.
But wait, what am I overreacting about, though?
Statewide, Gavin closed the refinery here.
Right, that's what I said. I'm not tripping about gas prices. Were you listening to the show?
Yeah, that's not Trump. That's not Trump. A lot of people think that's Trump. Trump's national gas prices.
William, I wasn't tripping about gas prices. Were you watching the show?
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm watching the show. Remember, you were talking about that.
Yeah, so but I wasn't saying it's bad.
Yeah.
Or I wasn't tripping about it. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So what's on your mind?
The stuff I was saying, the stuff I was talking about. I was saying that I think Trump just thought he could deal with Iran decisively. That's why I think this is happening.
He is. What are you talking about?
I don't know how it's going to end up.
They control the strait.
It could very
right
well
now.
be he
A
deals
lot
with
of
it
those ships are
decisively,
still
but I don't
sitting
know.
there. Those ships are still sitting there, and they're going to take control. All of the Arab countries over there are against Iran, and the people of Iran want to get that regime out of there too. And I think that dude's son might have got killed too. So they really want to get this regime out of there because all the other countries over there, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, they're all friends, you know, and they're talking about getting in on this thing and getting rid of this regime too. So I don't know what you're looking at.
I understand what you're saying. You're just pretty.
And
You're
every
just pretty
time you have a
confident.
conflict,
You're just
your
pretty
gas
confident how
goes
it'll all
up.
turn
Wait a
out.
minute. Every conflict you have, your gas goes up 10, 15 cents or something like that all the time. That happens. But you know whose gas is high? It's ours. What do? You pay it. Taxes high. We just pay them. We ain't tripping on it. What the price is, you just pay what the price is.
You're just saying you're confident on how it all turn out over there.
Yes,
that's fair. I understand
we
that.
have control of the strait. We got control. We got control.
As it stands, it's you have to admit though, as it stands, you don't really know.
We got control. We got control of the strait.
Who says?
When
did we get control of the strait?
We got control of the strait, and the black market oil tankers that were going to China and Russia has been cut off. We got control of the
What
strait.
makes you say we have control of the strait?
Are you looking at the news, Nick, or are you
Why are they sending us?
Storybooks?
Why are they sending 5,000 Marines if we have control of the strait? I'm not saying. Look, I'm not trying to. Look, I understand that you. I understand that you're hopeful. Hold on.
How many?
Hold on, William. I understand that you're hopeful, and I agree. I like Trump. I think he's the man for the job.
If they sent 5,000 Marines,
but we don't
does
own
it
the
sound
strait.
Like you're joking.
You said what?
If they sent, you said they sent how many?
They're sending. Aren't they sending like 5,000 Marines and like some other people?
I think the message has been sent.
You said what? But why would they have to send it if
I
we
think
have
the message
total
has been
control
sent.
of the Strait of Hormuz?
They're going to try to get control of the strait, bro. That's what it's all about.
Right. They're going to attempt to get control. Now that's a more
They're
accurate
going to
statement.
get control. They're going to get control of the strait.
And you are very confident that
I
they
have
will.
much more confidence
but they currently
in this
don't have it.
country. And wait a minute, I'm going
Or am I
to
tripping?
I'm going to get more confidence in this country and President Trump than anybody in the world that can take control of that strait. Yes,
Fair
absolutely.
Fair enough.
Every day.
Yeah, I
Every
hope
day.
they do, and I'm confident they might.
Every day, guaranteed. That's what it's really all about, getting control of that strait. That's not everybody's oil. It's 1/3 of the world. We wasn't going to get control of Venezuela either. It was. We took their gold. It's on the way up to the reserve. We took their mines. We did that too, didn't we? And it looks like Cuba's going down too. I don't know how long you've been living in this country. That's what it's all about. The strait. Control.
What is it that you think I'm saying?
America. That's all it is. That's all it is, Nick. I swear to God. Control. America. Power. That's it. If I have any confidence who's going to take control of it, I'd say the United States.
What is it you think I'm saying? What do you think I'm saying? In your
You
opinion?
don't think it can be done?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
That I don't think what can be done.
That America can control that.
I didn't say
or
that.
even get it. You don't think we can
I
get
didn't
it?
say that either.
Oh, okay. Then that's nothing to argue about right there because I know they can do it.
Right, you're confident that they will. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
But
Yeah,
initially
they
you
can
were
do
saying
it.
we own the strait, we're winning,
We
and that's
can
just
get
not
it.
true.
I think
Trump
we
is
got
trying
it.
to
It's
win.
supposed to-
Trump is like
Guys,
trying
I
to
think
win
it's
and
a done
change the
deal, man. That
situation because
island's
it's
been
not good right
pounded,
now.
Man. Wait a minute. That island's been pounded. I don't know what you looking at. He told
Fair
all the
enough. No, what you're saying
population
is
to
fair.
get away from the. He told the population to get away from the coastline Friday. We're getting this news late, Nick. And Gavin raised our gas prices, so we got the double one. We got the military operating. We get a little bump in the gas, right? Then we got Gavin over here in the state closing the refineries. They did that 2 years ago. I think the last one got closed in Compton, didn't it?
That's true.
So if your gas goes up and your taxes go up, you don't complain about them. You just pay. It is what
I'm
it is.
following you. I'm following you. Yeah, you're simply saying like, okay, no, I'm totally following you. You're simply saying
I've
like
seen a
that you're
conflict
far more
before, but
confident
I
than
was
I.
young, like
And I
you.
think
I
that's
was
fair
young
to
like
say.
you.
I don't think I'm expressing total confidence here. You're
I
saying
was
that you're
young
far
like
more
you.
confident about this than I. And I think that is what's happening here.
Yeah, because I was young like you when they had Vietnam and all this Iraqi stuff and everything. I was much younger and everything. The gas went up for that too, but I just wasn't paying attention to it then.
Yeah.
And I complained about it too because I was younger and I didn't have as much money. But now that I have the money, I'll just pay the taxes and the high gas, whatever. What are you going to do about it?
True.
And if we get control of the straits, don't you think our oil gets cheaper?
I would think so, right?
It's way beyond our thinking. It's way beyond our theories and all of that stuff, dude. They want control of that. They definitely want it. And Trump he means business. You said the Marines are out there?
They're on their way. They're on their way.
Just been sent.
No, I'm totally following now. You're far more confident about the whole thing.
I think the message
and
has been
you're
sent.
right. I think I'm not expressing that total confidence
serious
like you.
enough right there.
And I think you're right about that.
I mean, I wouldn't underestimate a country coming after me, would you?
You said what? Say that again?
I wouldn't underestimate a whole damn country like the United States coming after me, would you? I wouldn't want that. This is not even about fighting. This is economics, man. It's money, oil, money, gold, land, everything. That's what this is. Power.
Fair enough.
You got number one and you got number two. Which one do you want to be?
I don't know. But you know,
you don't know. Wait a minute, you don't know?
Hey, being number one is problems. Imagine Japan. Japan's like, you know what? We'll take a back seat, but we're going to close our borders and stay ethnically homogenous.
Number one ain't a problem.
I don't know.
All right.
What was I going to say? Hey, I got you, man. No, but you know, I'll say this: even with my youthful lack of confidence, you gotta like my investment into XLE. Did you hear that part?
I ain't the one. Hey, man, I ain't the one out there, but I know these guys that's going out there know what to do. So what I ain't in it.
Right on, William. Thanks, man.
We pay them for that, so they're gonna do what they gotta do. And I think the message has been sent. If they sent that many Marines, doesn't sound like they want to make friends.
And it also doesn't mean that they're going to be deployed necessarily. But I don't know. It is a lot of people.
Now wait a minute.
Going up there, even if it's just a threat.
Somebody's going somewhere doesn't mean a shot's going to be fired. That's right.
We'll see.
Even though I know it is.
You said what? So
just because
you know that those Marines are going to be deployed, like boots on the ground type thing.
I mean, it's not a lightweight thing to deploy them. But just because you're being sent somewhere doesn't mean a shot's going to be fired. But more than likely, if you sent them, I think the message is clear.
The idea is, I heard that if there's like a limited invasion force, it's not like you're invading Iran, but instead you just have boots on the ground on that Karg island. You actually end up opening up. I'm hearing that this will open up like a totally different avenue for Trump, like another option for him to win the war. Wait, I was still talking.
This is not Vietnam. This is not Iraq, and this is not Afghanistan. It's not what you guys are looking at, a long drag out war. No, I don't see that.
Thank you, William. Call me again.
All right.
888-775-3773. Totally amazing. What are those? They're going over to have a conversation. They're going over just to talk. They're going over to talk. We're just gonna have a conversation. Me and my 5,000 Marines. Who are all these guys? Hey, don't worry. Don't worry about them. Don't look at them. Look at me. Don't look at them. Look at me. Anyways, I want to get to Rick, Hampton, Virginia, man. Thanks for your call. You're on the air.
What's going on, Brother Nick?
What's up, Rick? No complaints
Hey,
here.
good to hear you,
And
man.
you?
Thanks for taking my call, my brother. Wow, man. Wow, you think gonna be a lone conflict?
I don't know. It looks like it, but maybe maybe not at all. Maybe it's not at all what people think it is. How it's going to be.
You know, so far, President President Trump, I believe God has His hand on President Trump, man. Because I tell you, man, every time President Trump do something, it pans out and works for the best. You know what I mean?
That's why this creative stuff with the Carg Island thing, it's like, it's not over. It's not over. I'm not leaving.
Now, it's going to be, but I don't think the gas price is going to stay. President Trump has a strategy. I think it's a strategy he got, and I think I pray it pans out for him, you know?
You said he has a plan, he has a strategy?
Yep, I think President Trump has a strategy.
Yeah, get Iran to cry uncle.
Yeah, you know, it's a thing, you know, it's like, I guess, man, as well as Jesse says, have a wait-to-see attitude. What you think?
Oh, sorry, what? You said about having a wait-and-see attitude?
Yeah, like have a wait-to-see attitude to see what's going to happen.
I mean, you just have to.
You know.
You could not do that and trip, but either way, all you would be doing is you would still have to wait for time to pass and for the events to happen.
You know, too, yeah, and I'm with William. You guys in California, man, y'all pay almost like $6 a gallon for gas, man. So y'all already used to it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it's already it's like a high. Sure, it's like at a high. It's like higher than everybody else, but the increase is across the board. So even already high, people will still notice it going up. Doesn't you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know it's going up. You know what I mean? And I'll tell y'all, man, I don't see how y'all like it out there in California, man. Everything high is out there, man. I mean, it's hard to buy a home out there. Taxes are just outrageous, man.
Outrageous, man. It's.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it's that way, to be honest.
You know, I just think it's economic policy.
Right, but which
ones? I really think it's economic policies. Yeah, it has always been that way in California, man. I mean, the weather is great out there, man. It is great. You know, but y'all taxes, man. I mean, I believe y'all incomes out there in California, I believe 70% of y'all income go in taxes.
You said 70? I haven't done the math.
I believe that's how high as y'all taxes are. I'm just estimating, but I could be wrong.
What do they even use it all for?
You know, when people like to want their people to depend on the government, your taxes are going to be higher because they got to be able to supply those programs through the government.
Is that so?
You know, that's why like usually with black mayors, a lot of times black mayors they just have a socialist idea thing. You see what I mean? So what they do, they want the government to take care of all the citizens. So that's why most time when black mayors are in charge, have high taxes in the city. You know?
They do constantly have that mindset. And that should tell you everything.
Yeah.
When you have that mindset, start going into the government, it should be no surprise.
You know what? I like the more the government stays, the only thing I want the government to do is protect society and protect the country. That's it, dude. The government needs to get out of student loans because that's why colleges are so outrageous for, because the kids got the money. So If it's hard to see that the kids are getting all these loans from the government, you don't think they're gonna have their prices raised up? You know what I'm saying?
Possibly. They don't care. They think the same way. They don't see any other way of living. They have the same socialist mindset.
Yeah. You know. So yeah.
But thanks, Rick. Anything else you want to speak on?
No problem, man. Thanks. You know, I would like to speak on this real quick. Have the Epstein files been on? Because I'm sick of the liberals crying about the Epstein files. I thought President Trump released that.
Okay. Last I remember, it was some law that came from Congress, right? They make the laws about the transparency of those files, forcing the release of all those files. But I believe as it stands, like 3 out of the 3.5 million of the 6 million files, supposedly whatever, have been released. Something like that. I could be wrong. Maybe they've all been released.
Yeah,
That's the last I heard about them.
Oh, did you hear about Jasmine Crooked? One of her head of a security team got he dead, killed by the Dallas SWAT team.
Oh, wait, when did that happen? You said
that happened. I guess it happened over the weekend. He's like head of Jasmine Crockett's security team, and the Dallas SWAT team wound up killing him.
Oh, wow. Security guard.
Now,
Jasmine, so her
person?
security guard was killed by the Dallas SWAT.
Dallas SWAT team. Yep.
Was the security guard protecting Crockett at the time, or what?
No, he wasn't protecting himself. I think he barricaded himself in a car, and then he got out and started shooting at the police.
Okay, so he wasn't like being Jasmine's security detail at the time. This is like a totally unrelated incident. He ended up acting crazy, impersonating police and barricading himself, and it ended off in a shootout.
Yeah, they got him on even impersonating the police, man. I mean, I'm like, how did Jasmine Crockett not know that this guy has this kind of record?
I guess you don't always expect your security guard to impersonate police and barricade themselves in a shootout standoff with Dallas SWAT, but hey, crazy things may have happened. I don't know. Would a background check have revealed such a thing? I don't know. You just don't always expect your security guard to go and do such a thing, right? But hey.
Yeah, you won't think, huh?
You got to be checking. Maybe there's a way to be checking. Maybe there's a way to check in a deeper way, but I mean, it's just not something you expect of most people. Is that fair to say?
Man, I'll tell you, man, it's like, I mean, like, it sound like this guy was a criminal all the time, man. The way they're putting it out, you know what I mean?
What a crazy story. Yeah.
It happened this weekend. So
yeah. But hey, they got to check who they're hiring. You're saying?
Yeah. While Jasmine Crockett is so busy being into her blackness, she's hiring somebody. Maybe they could have been romantically involved. Who knows, man?
That's
you know what I mean?
Pure speculation. I don't know if you heard something that I haven't, but.
No,
but hey,
haven't.
Rick, man, I appreciate your call. Can you call me again?
Yeah. We'll do that, Nick. Love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Rick. Call me again. 888-775-3773. Thank you, Brandy. Back-to-back super chats. Appreciate that. Says, $1 gas is coming. On its way. Brandy calling it. She says, no taxes coming soon. Right on, Brandy. And that may come to pass. I know the president is very creative and bold individual. You know, willing to do what others wouldn't. But also dare to think things that others wouldn't. Like what? Okay. Okay, you guys are saying, okay, we struck Iran. Okay, they're not going anywhere. Okay, they're saying it's a forever war. Okay, it's looking bad. Remember I was saying, like, I'm getting the vibe he doesn't want to be there. He's like, it's done. The war's done. I can end it whenever I want. They're telling me I should leave. They're telling me I killed the Ayatollah, but they're not. That's not getting rid of the regime. Okay, call the war done. I want to get out of there. Ooh, but leaving just like that would be, it would just be bad. It would just like, it'd look bad. Hand over Iran, a huge win. So you know what? I'm going to be creative. They're saying boots on the ground. We're going to have to boots on the ground. That would be the worst thing. It'd be a huge escalation. Americans dead. The forever war still in the cards. But hold on. Limited invasion into Karg Island. Totally control their oil. Like all their exports go from there. Completely cripple Iran. Set a beachhead on the Strait of Hormuz all along. Open it up. Suddenly, the U.S. is in a position to negotiate. You know what I mean? So I've never counted the guy out. Trump, I'm talking about. Not at all. Definitely never counted him out. That's for sure. But I guess I was expressing some, whatever, maybe not total confidence like some of you guys. I didn't even realize, I just didn't even see it like that. I didn't even see it like as a criticism or a doubt. It's just, I'm not the president. I don't know everything they know. This is the information I have. You know, I'm using their words. If the president says, this is a small price to pay for what? Well, it's to decisively win. If they don't, then the small price to pay was for what? To kick the can down the road? It's all things we're watching. Definitely never counted them out, though. Amazing things happening with Karg Island. What's going to happen with all this? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I got something for you here. Can we watch this together? Let's totally switch gears here. There's this guy on YouTube who I don't know if he's like some kind of expert at this, but just watching one of his shorts, it gives me total confidence in this person's abilities to read lips. Okay, and this person seems to do these for basketball games and maybe other sporting events. But I saw this one short and I saw, wow, I can't really be sure that that's what these people are saying. This person is lip reading. I can't be sure that that's what they're saying, but it's pretty convincing. This individual's got me convinced with his skills.
This game's from 2023, Celtics-Lakers. Schroeder inbounds the ball to LeBron, driving to win the game. It doesn't go. Tatum on the contest, swipes down on the arm. A clear foul, but no whistle. He hit my arm.
That's him saying what he believes LeBron was saying here because he's reading his lips. That's LeBron James, basketball player. He hit my arm.
What the fuck? Smacks the floor, roughs up the coach. Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
He hit my arm. LeBron down to one knee, trying to pull it together. Keyword trying. We have made our way to both knees, and now we have 4 points of contact. Pat Bev has retrieved a camera, bringing photographic evidence to Eric Lewis. Foul. Pat. Okay, that's how it's going to be. That's a technical foul. And then we actually see the camera display, and it's not even a picture. Oh, Pat Bev. Foul. See the picture? Foul. Game went to overtime, and the Celtics won it 125-121. This game's from 2023, Celtics-Lakers.
Okay,
Schroeder
so
inbounds the ball to LeBron.
We can all agree that we can't be sure that that's what these people are saying. But obviously, I think many of us can agree this individual's got some skills. Maybe it's not that difficult, but I seem to trust him. Okay? That's just my opinion. Okay? He's reading their lips, and that seemed very much like maybe that's what they were saying. Okay? So I watch a few of these. I'm yucking it up. I'm watching a few of these. Then I come across this. Wait, is this the one? Oh, no. Hold on. Then I come across this one. It's LeBron again. International Women's Day. When was that? Wasn't that International Women's Day was March 8th. Wasn't it like Women's Heritage Month or something like that too? When was that? Women's Heritage Month is celebrated annually in March. International Women's Day, March 8th. Okay. LeBron James being caught by the expert lip reader. I'll leave space. I can't be sure that this is what he's saying, but let's watch this together. LeBron James.
Okay,
flanked by blonde moms, maybe? Flanked on both sides by blonde women. Moms, I want to say.
Okay,
and this is the video and what he possibly said.
First of all, happy International Women's Day. Oh, thank you to both of you. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Y'all is two the most powerful women in...
He got the vernacular. He's like, y'all is too I'm sorry I ruined it. Let me play it again. You guys want to watch this together with me. International Women's Day. I'm not going to talk. Let's watch it.
Okay, first of all, happy International Women's Day. Oh, thank you to both of you. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Y'all is two the most powerful women in sports. Okay, first of all.
Wait, is that it? That's the whole thing.
First of all.
Some of you are recognizing, I think that's Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers. Owner of the Lakers. The owner of the Lakers is, who's Jeannie Buss? Oh. Jeannie Marie Buss, American sports executive, governor and minority owner of the Los Angeles Lakers of the National Basketball Association. I think you're right. That might be true what you said. Wait, she kind of looks like her. Jeannie Buss. I love how the lip reader got like all the vernacular right. He's like, y'all is two of the of the two of the most powerful women. Hold on, I'm trying to put this side by side. Hold on. How do we do this? Come on. Don't make this difficult. There we go. Okay, we'll just use the Windows keys. Ain't nothing. There we go. Jeannie Buss.
Happy International Women's Day. Oh, thank you.
Is that her?
Oh, to both of you. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Y'all is two the most powerful.
Y'all is two the most powerful women in sports. And so I'm playing this because it's funny. But also, I was just thinking, this whole like Women's Day, look, there's a number of things going on. But one of them is this male behavior, this individual, and I don't know if it's just like a modern thing, but there's the behavior of this male individual that LeBron exhibits. This whole like, I think pejoratively it's called like a white knight. Y'all are the most powerful women. It's amazing. Isn't LeBron married, by the way? LeBron James' wife. You know, I'm not trying to be like a Hey Savannah and cause issues, right? Hey, right? Like, I don't want to be planting things in anybody's head. Like, that's not what look. But what is this whole behavior? This whole like, oh, y'all are the most amazing women. I'm all over your arm. What's up? Like, I'm not saying LeBron's doing anything. In fact, I'm not saying that at all. This could be the most benign, whatever. Women in sports, they're professionals in the industry I'm in. I'm sitting next to them in this game. Oh, thank you. I'm not saying it's like improper, but it's kind of improper. Like, I'm not saying he's doing anything or even wants to, but consider for a moment how I don't know. It's even now, especially now that the men are they're red pilled. Now you know how you're supposed to put women in their place. Not saying that that's something you never do, but men are kind of getting the wrong idea of that. You have everything to say about women. It's like, they'll bend the rules and flirt and do these things. I call this kind of the same thing. I mean, it's also not uncommon for this kind of behavior, these kinds of people to white knight to get attention and to ingratiate themselves to women. In fact, it's a common, and I'm not saying this about LeBron at all, but it's a common, and mainly because he probably doesn't need to, but it's a common, what's it called? It's a common, like not infamous, but it's like a common negative stereotype of this like white knight guy to be doing all that to get sex or other things from women. Oh, you're the best. You're the most powerful. You know, I know that he got caught I know that it was just funny little lip reading, but I, in my opinion, he got caught doing something far worse, which is like, I don't know, just simping, lying, white knighting. I'm not saying anything sexual or anything cheating like I was just talking about with LeBron and these women. But there's something very unmanly about it. There's something untrustworthy. It's not manly. It's not. You following the vibe here a bit? Oh, y'all are the most powerful. Like, it's so ingratiating, and it's like you got caught. You got caught lip reading lies in 4K, LeBron. You know, maybe I'm the only one that sees it like this. But anyways, it's just a funny video, okay? Just a silly little video. What are you guys saying in the chat? Y'all is two of the probs of the most powerful women in sports. Look, we got some coffees and super chats and all that. I want to get to y'all in the last bit of the show, since y'all are so supportive. Thank you, rumble.com/American anchorbaby. LeBron simping for white women. Yeah, Anthony gets it. All right, let's see. Thank you. Coffees as well. Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. You know what? Eric, man, I don't know if I got to all these. Eric had some very interesting coffees. And I'm going to read them all. I appreciate your support. Eric, with the coffees, says, no such thing as practical thoughts, he says. He says there's no such thing as practical thoughts. There are two sources. The mind equals lies, and the spirit equals truth. Doubting all thoughts is how we keep the space between mind and spirit. Telling people some thoughts are practical is also saying they come from the same source. This keeps people identified with the mind in their head, believing this is a practical thought or an impractical thought. They never maintain connection to the spirit because the belief that this thought is practical or impractical is a thought from the mind. Make sense? He goes on, they're already one with the ego. All thoughts are lies. Lies aren't practical. Saying I use my mind to turn this wrench while fixing my car isn't true. The world is unconscious, but they use the mind all the time, right? Nope, you don't use the mind. The mind uses you. You don't pick the mind up and put it down when you're done with it. You doubt it or it uses you. He goes on and on here. The ego thinks it's using you got to keep it pithy, man. Or 10 times the coffees. The world is, you don't pick the mind up like a tool, he says, and put it down when you're done with it. The ego thinks it's using the wrench to fix a car along with the infinite other thoughts it's unaware of unless you don't take credit for what's happening. Of ourselves, we can do nothing. Of ourselves, we know nothing. You are the mind of God. You are the all-knowing God's mind. God's voice is a voiceless voice. Yeah, I've heard all these. Knowing isn't a thought. It comes from within. Common sense, it's not audible. Common sense comes from the non-reactive state of the feeling body. When I say everything you think, say, and do is the obstacle of getting what you want, where do you feel that? I don't feel that anywhere. It's from that source where you know God. That place is independent of the mind. It comes from within. It's not a feeling. It's a lack of feeling. You don't think you know. So that, yeah, I mean, some of that language I understand. We've heard it before, and many of us are pondering these things and feel the same way. So thank you, Eric. I just would like to know, like, you tell me how you build a house without thinking about it. Just I'd like to know. Just tell me how you did that. You know, I understand that you're not supposed to believe you're the thoughts, but you know, like Jesse says, like you build the house and then you put it down. It's not supposed to be that complicated, in my opinion. Just think of the word practical and impractical. When you get up and think, I'm going to have cereal for breakfast, and then I'm going to put on my white shirt because, you know, it's the clean one or something. Those are all practical things. When if instead of putting on the white shirt and eating your cereal, you just think, oh, what should I have for breakfast, and why should I have breakfast, and if I'm thinking about having breakfast, does that mean the devil wants to have breakfast? Tell me, what part of that was practical? None of it. So if you're confused, you know, keep it simple. Think of the word practical. And Eric, interesting coffees. I'd like to know how you, I don't know, build stuff without, how do you just know? I'd like to know that. Let's say you were tasked to, hey, you're a new employee at this office and you need to make this Excel sheet for this data. I'd like to know how you just know that. Wouldn't that be interesting? Because that's amazing. Man, I just know that. And I close my eyes, now I'm typing. It's just the knowing did it. You know, I'd like to know. Eric, with more coffees here, is very long, man. I got to say. But I appreciate your support. You got to keep it a little pithier. I know you can. I know you can summarize some of this. Just for the show, right? So that we're not like endlessly doing this. God's mind he speaks on. Eric writes on, God's mind. God's mind isn't a thinking and feeling mind. It's a knowing. The mind of truth knows all thoughts are lies, so it doesn't do anything for a feeling. To do anything for a feeling is to believe a lie. God's mind doesn't fish for dopamine hits in the snake pit because it can see the truth and why it is there. It focuses on the truth within. Any feeling from what I'm doing lets me know it's about me and not the truth. The chat is reactive. The chat seeks approval, not truth. The truth isn't reactive. Listening to the chat is appeasing the lie. God's mind is humble and grateful because it knows nothing is missing. God's mind is all love. God's mind is objective because truth can't be seen through a subjective lens. The mind of truth is an observance of the thinking mind. How do you put clothes on, go to work, make breakfast by knowing it's not you thinking? That awareness keeps you from believing. It's a knowing under the thinking that you see when you doubt. Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying by dropping the thoughts. You have the breakfast, build the car, but you don't believe it's you, then you let it go. You don't live by it. I don't know why you want to stay on this and like really fight this. Like this is super important. There are no practical thoughts. We're talking about the same thing. That's the same thing. You drop the thoughts. When you're done using it, you drop it. That's not you. It's not you thinking. I'll keep reading this, though. It's not you thinking what you want for breakfast because you bought the food last week. You bought the food you were led to believe at the store you were provided to shop. The same goes for fixing your car and going to work. It's not you. It's never been you. But you don't have to believe it's you to fix the car. That's the point. You're just using the thoughts to do this task. And then you can ponder about who did that and until the cows come home and discover reality and within, okay? But, at this very moment, I need to build this car, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to use my thought. I'm building the car, and then I let go. You don't have to believe it's you to build the car. That's all I'm saying. It's not you thinking what you want for breakfast because you don't make a plan. You see what to do by doing what's in front of you. None of us can stop what we're doing. We're either blindly controlled or see. We're not in control and do what's in front of us. The chat is emotionally dependent on the chat. The chat seeks your approval. To not watch the thought that says, make this silly comment is to be blind. Next time, ask, what is compelling me to make this comment? Why do I need to say it? Who am I? You know it's not you, but you won't let go. What's in front of the chat every day is to stop seeking attention. The chat validates the ego in the comfort of companionship. Does God's mind seek companionship? Then who are you? JLP's brilliance is from seeking the truth. The truth is within, not without. Notice JLP isn't in the chat making zingers every 3 minutes. Neither are you, chat. Can you see it's not you? Can you see the similarity between Tourette's syndrome and chat behavior? Neither one can restrain themselves. You know not to send that comment, but you won't let go. Yeah, look, Eric, a lot of the things, we've been watching Jesse for a while. Look, you're making a lot of sense. We probably agree on a whole bunch of things. I know the one thing you're bringing up is this whole practical versus impractical thoughts. Look, I just disagree. I think you can use the mind and then drop it like a tool, whatever. Tell me how you operate otherwise. Everything else, I mean, we've heard a lot of this, and then I think we can agree on a lot of this. It's just, how can you expect anyone to respond when you have all this stuff? It's like point after point after point. It's like you really just want to speak. You just really want to put out your stuff. And super chats are a way to kind of discuss things with me. It's like a great question. A lot of these can be summarized into a question. Do your best to keep it pithy, Eric. I appreciate your coffees because, you know, it's just hard to do a show, right? So do your best to keep it pithy. There's a way to do it, man. I know you can. But I appreciate your coffee, sir. Yeah, what do you guys think, chat? We kind of discussed this Friday. You could discuss it further, but what do you guys think? Is there no such thing as practical thoughts? Can you use the mind like a tool and drop it like a tool? What do you think? Oh no, he didn't come after the snake pit. Snake pit affected. Eric 1, snake pit 0. Okay, anyways, I appreciate the support, everybody, and your super chats. We are coming to a close here. We did the calls, we did the topics, we did the super chats. Let's see here. We're here coming to a close, folks. Hope you've been enjoying yourselves a little bit. Amazing. All right, what else? We got to go. Back-to-back super chats. We did those. Brandy, thank you for that. That's Rumble. That's buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Amazing. Whew. So we're in the last bit here. Let me just read some of chat before we go. What are y'all saying here? Because we'll have more. We'll have Country Western Tuesday with Jesse Lee Peterson tomorrow. And then, of course, the Hake Report. And then, of course, more American Anchor Baby. Keith says, I'm currently using my mind as a tool while installing a transmission. Practical thoughts work the same as evil ones. They come and go, but they are about installing the transmission and not who I am. That makes so much sense, Keith. You can summarize everything I was saying. Here, you take the mic, Keith, just for a moment. I'm currently using my mind. That's just what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Eric's saying that, no. Eric is saying that you're even believing that a thought is practical doesn't allow you to doubt the true source of the thoughts. But I'm saying that that's far too complicated. You don't have to even consider the source of the thoughts, because the fact is that I seem to have my mind the same way I seem to have my hands and eyes for some sort of practical use, at least some sort of practical use. So when I'm breathing with my lungs, I don't think I'm my lungs. When I take a big deep breath, I'm breathing with my lungs, but I don't think I'm my lungs. When I use my head to consider a problem or how to build something, I'm not my brain. That's how I'm thinking of it. What do you guys think? Eric has some interesting thoughts on it. Appreciate it. All right, folks. Because, you know, he's wondering if he's just worried that you're gonna be unable to doubt its true source. But, you know, I would wonder, Eric, do you even know what you're saying with that? Because if I have my mind like I have my hands and eyes to do things, and my lungs, etc., then maybe that thought about building the bike is maybe that's all it was. You understand? Kind of like how Keith was saying. Practical thoughts work the same as the evil ones. They come and go, but these practical ones are about installing the transmission, not about who I am, what I'm going to do tomorrow, how somebody feels about me. Anyways, fascinating. All right, folks, that's it for me. Take care for now. More American Anchor Baby tomorrow. That's after Country Western Tuesday and the Hake Report. Take care for now. See you tomorrow. Peace.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.